Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. Hello, hello.
Hello.
You're back home.
Yay. Oh my goodness. Camping. I love it.
Yeah, it's why we're here. Self-care to the max.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with highs and lows while I get this frog out of my throat?
Definitely. Is it my go first? Yeah. Okay. Muck high is camping.
Yep.
It wasn't even like supposed to be a big full self-care like vacation type thing. It was supposed to be like a half just getting away and half working while there. So it was a nice mix of family fun and trying to figure out how to work remotely. And that's my muck low. That I was underprepared to work remotely.
As far as underestimating time or
not even time. Oh, I guess time, babysitter, and internet.
Yep.
Yeah. And that I guess I did not communicate well enough with other people that were with us who decided to make other plans when I was supposed to be working, which I would have been fine with them leaving me behind if they would have taken Declan, but that was not their intention. It was a struggle, but it was really fun at the same time. Like such good stuff. But so that was my
and it working from home as well. It's easy to fall into that space where people are like, oh, you're flexible. You can just work from home. Like, or you can just adapt. You can just do it later. Or I can just drop in or get you to run this errand or so many things. And it's hard to navigate that at times of, no, this is actually my work time.
Yeah. And not even that, like there's meetings that I have that I'm responsible for, that I have to be at and show up at specific times every single week. It has not changed. So
yes,
it's all good. It all worked out. Now I know better for next time. I will be prepared.
Yes. Well, some of that is out of your control, I guess, like internet and other people. We can't necessarily change. They might still see it as the same thing for a while. Still see it as, oh, she's just fine. She doesn't need to.
Right. You can watch the baby and work on your laptop in the camping chair and get work done.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes, sure. For that 10-minute block. Yeah. I actually needed like 10 hours.
My attention span is 3 hours. My child's attention span is 10 minutes. Math
3 minutes.
Math does not add up there.
Indeed.
So what are your muck highs and muck lows, Linda?
So hi, I got a shower this morning. Yeah. And I feel really grateful for that because I was able to send the kids off to school and Quinn's going with my mum today, so he's spending the day with her, and I just had the baby here and I was able to literally put her on the floor with 3 or 4 toys and have a shower, and I feel so lucky to be able to do that because I know a lot of other mums aren't in that situation. I know it's not like that every day. I know that it fluctuates up and down and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and she was a little testy or getting a little impatient towards the end but she wasn't screaming. She wasn't upset. She was just sort of making her voice known and having a few words. And I feel so, so lucky to be able to do that.
Awesome.
It seems like such a little thing. The low from that, and they're both tied in together. The low from that is when I guess I get the space to have a shower sometimes, and it wasn't a long one. It's my thinking space and my processing, my collecting space. I love it for so many reasons, and I love going swimming for the same reason. I do that when I swim laps. And so while in the shower, I feel like I was hit with this barrage of stuff. I'm like, oh, I haven't done that. Oh, I haven't done that.
Oh
Oh,
my
I haven't done that.
God.
Oh, what about that? Oh, and so I've got, I've got to pay that bill, or I
Yep.
need to organize the kids meeting friends in the holidays, school holidays, or I need to send my speaker sheet for the summit. Like really overdue. And so all of these things just felt like they engulfed me. And so that was a little overwhelming for a second.
I feel that. It's like when you first lay down to bed at night and all of a sudden it's like you're just hit with a ton of bricks of all the things.
It's like, do I make more stickies? I don't really want more stickies right now. I've got enough sticky notes right now. But some of those things do probably need to be in front of me a little more, because that's why they've been forgotten. So it's a balance again, of course. Yeah. And I think as we start to share some of these things, it normalizes them a little more as well. Because I was thinking about this, and I appreciate and love the fact we do the highs and the lows, because there have been times, especially in the past, where I haven't actually wanted to share some of those wins, or haven't wanted to share the fact that I can shower, because I feel a guilt or a almost like I know not everybody can do this, and I feel bad for those that can't. And so I don't want to share something which actually should be celebrated or appreciated or communicated in a way that's humble, rather than just going the other way and being like, well, I won't talk about that because it might make some people feel really upset.
On the other side of that, I feel the shame in the fact that that is the height. Like, that's as big as my win got for the day. It's like, am I at that low of a spot that like my win is a shower? But at the same time, like it's both.
And we're sitting here sort of saying, well, self-care, there's a lot of the messages out there which are, well, a shower is just basic hygiene. It's not actually a self-care practice, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of talk out there saying, almost shaming us for celebrating that or appreciating that. And so it's very confused, I think, in the messaging.
Yeah, it is. I
don't know if that's really something that I can wrap my head around entirely. Why do we do that?
I wonder if it's to symbolize like the importance, or at least the difference between basic need and what is just a little bit extra to fill a cup. Although, like we've talked about, even just being able to complete basic needs just gives you that boost that is enough to say it was self-care too.
Yeah. And I think so often for me, in something like a shower, I've had to navigate that. I really appreciated the fact that it was only me and the baby at home. It actually, in some ways, made it easier, because I didn't need to try to think about the other kids in the house and what they were doing and what they might be getting up to.
Yeah, you don't have to keep an ear out, make sure they're all set up before you get in. It's like, what is the prep work that goes into taking the time to go take a shower with 4 kids running around the house?
There's so often I'll turn off the taps, I'll listen and make sure that, and then I'll literally open the door and I'll say, is everyone still alive?
Yeah.
All good?
I do like a roll call. I'm like, Declan, just scream if you're still there.
It's so true. It's like, has anybody like really damaged each other? Okay, good. All right. Let me get dressed.
Usually, are you still alive?
And I think about previously as well in the past where maybe I might have only had 1 or 2, and I would get to a point where I would be asking to have a shower. Can I have a shower while you look after the kids?
That's a big one, especially right out the gate postpartum, that we have to ask permission to take care of any basic needs or self-care time. I know.
Full stop. Yeah.
When I first had Declan, I should say before we had Declan, my husband and I had separate nights that we'd go out and do our own thing. And it was great for us. You know, he was able to go just be alone, have alone time. And if he wanted to go hang out with his friends, he can go hang out with his friends. And then I did the same. And after Declan, I did not continue that because of all the things that came along with everything. And it took a few months, but then my husband went ahead and went right back to it. And he asked for permission. He said, is it okay if I get back to this? And it became okay. But now I'm still asking permission.
Yeah.
If I can go do something. As I now start to get back into going out by myself and doing things for myself. And it's 3 years later.
Because you do need to coordinate it, right?
Yeah.
It's this fine balance of asking for permission or saying something. And I can say this now that I'm not in the situation, right? Much easier. But something better, I think, that would work in a more coordinated approach would be, hey, I've got some friends, I want to catch up with them on Thursday. Do you have any plans? Let's make this work.
Yep. We also have designated nights that we have, like, that we're able to plan things on. So like Bobby's got Tuesday nights. So that's always his night. Unless something comes up, then we switch. And it was always like a plan ahead. And then my night was Thursday. But now we're here. So that doesn't happen anymore.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I switched it to Monday mornings because I don't like going out by myself at night. I'd rather go to breakfast by myself.
That's awesome. But we have to be flexible, right?
Yeah. What's working for you? But so many new parents still have that feeling of needing to ask. And in reality, it really should just be like, hey, look, I need a shower. I'm going to go take one. You got him. That's it.
And it doesn't mean that we can't be thoughtful of what the other person is doing at the time or other things going on. I'm not going to take a shower right on dinner time.
Right.
And I know we haven't talked much about sort of the single side of, like, being a single parent side of things yet. That's a whole other ball game. Now I don't have any. Now I don't have to ask permission.
Right, but what do you do with?
It still needs to be coordinated. Yeah, it still needs to be coordinated. So there are some days where I just have to let it go and be like, right, I really don't think I'm going to get a shower until later tonight. And then later tonight might come around and something else might come up. I might just want to do some things on the computer for myself. And so I navigate that and really, I probably could have used a shower last night. I'm glad we can't smell through the Zoom.
I know.
At the same time, I think it actually worked better this morning. So we do need to include others in our self-care
We do.
practices at times. It's how I think we can approach that in better communication and better ways.
Yeah.
And in the heat of the moment, if you're used to saying, can I have a shower? If you're used to saying that, you might just find that it will come out of your mouth really instantly and immediately. And it's interesting as well, because I don't think I ask the kids if I can have a shower. I'll tell them, hey, Mum's going to have a shower. Are you right?
Yeah.
And I'll go and do it. So I don't actually ask them, but having a partner, you ask them. So, and half the time you have the kids come in anyway, even if you do have a partner.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I just wanted a shower.
Oh yeah, the things are getting thrown into the shower with me, or clothes are coming off on their own, and somehow they're inside the shower now with me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting though that is essentially a shared task now. It's not just something you do for yourself. It feels like it's this joint effort because you need to somehow coordinate it or negotiate it in what time that it happens or everything else like that. So what works for you might not work for me as a single parent, a solo. So what works as a solo may not work as a team either. So
there's a lot that goes into it that we're not even like recognizing, I feel, until we're like way past it. And now we're like, why am I even doing it this way?
Yep. Why do I need to ask? Why do I do that? And then that's more guilt and shame and emotions that are poured into that too. I dream sometimes of being an empty nester. And I'm like, I wonder if I would actually just take a shower when I want to, or just be so used to like, procrastinating or waiting or putting it off. I'm just like, it would take me years to adapt once the kids have left home. We have to put it in the calendar. Anyway.
But what you had said though, when it comes to like what works for me might not work for you. Especially when it comes to team versus solo. There's a lot of exploration that goes into that. And trial and error, and where you're gonna find what's really going to be a good self-care practice for you, and if it's worth the bandwidth that goes into planning it and then executing it.
Yep.
I think that's interesting to do. And then like, how much pushback do you get when planning it out?
And how much, again, coming back to the guilt thing or frustration, how much frustration do you feel if you do put effort into planning it out and then that plan gets squashed or completely blown out of the water?
And do you push back on yourself? Because I know I do that. I'm like, I don't really need to do it. No, there's other things I can do.
I suppose. Yeah.
No, they're gonna say I just like disqualify it automatically sometimes.
Yeah. Why do we do that?
We're hard on ourselves.
I think that's a big thing that we need to take away, I suppose, from this episode is it's okay to share that I'm being really hard on myself.
Yeah. because nobody
and
else
say
is
it out loud.
It's
No.
just it's really just ourselves.
Yeah. And if it's ourselves, I think part of healing that and getting that to a place where we're improving that is by starting to understand why, starting to understand that it's okay or pretty normal, saying it out loud to help us understand it, and working out a better strategy or a better way, or finding out something else that might work in a certain situation. So I'll leave you all with that. And until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your muck.
Oh, bye.